Chapter 1. Beau, Debt Paid in Full. Freedom had never felt so structured. Verosphere Plaza stretched endlessly, its gleaming storefronts reflecting the people who walked its perfect streets. No one was rushed, no one was lost, no one questioned their daily tasks that kept them free. The people here called themselves free men and free women. Most had come to Verosphere to escape. The long hours, the corporate demands, the endless grind of a world that dictated their time, their choices, their worth. Out there, they had worked to survive. Here, they were promised a life where survival was effortless. The only price? A few simple tasks assigned by Verosphere administration. No bosses, no debt, no control. At least that's what they believed, and no one embraced that belief more than Beau Wilder. Beau sat on the rooftop terrace of the Silver Palm Lounge, a cigar between his fingers, a glass of something expensive and golden resting on the table in front of him. The night air was warm, the neon lights from the plaza below bathing everything in a soft, electric glow. A gentle breeze carried the scent of grilled seafood and fresh citrus from one of the open-air restaurants below. This was the life. He leaned back in his chair, tapping the ash from his cigar into a polished glass tray, glancing around at the small gathering of free men and free women who lived as he did, free, untethered, indulging in whatever the night brought them. "What do you think? Start the day at the beach tomorrow?" Beau asked, lazily swirling his drink. Across from him, Dane Calder, sharp-dressed, perpetually amused, shrugged. "Depends. Breakfast at the Riviera first?" Beau grinned. "Only if they still have cinnamon rolls the size of my head." Dane smirked. "Beau, have you ever seen this place run out of anything? The Riviera's got infinite cinnamon rolls." Beau leaned back. "Some things never change in Verosphere, but not everything." New restaurants popped up all the time. Some thrived, the ones that pulled in the crowds, the ones free men and free women couldn't stop talking about. Dane nodded. "Yeah, and one day a place is a sushi bar. The next, a gelato stand in the same spot like the sushi place never existed." Beau didn't think about it much. That's just how the market worked. But something was different tonight. From the rooftop, he noticed a small crowd forming at the edge of the plaza, the kind of gathering that only happened when something unusual was going on. He frowned. "What's happening down there?" Dane followed his gaze and scoffed. "Oh, yeah. Someone told me about that. Someone's leaving." Beau blinked. "Leaving?" He sat up a little straighter. It was a rare event and rare enough to catch his attention yet. No one else seemed to care. It was like watching someone trying to catch a taxi in a farm field. Mild curiosity, then forgotten. Beau stood up. "I think I need another drink." Dane shot him a knowing look. "Curious?" Beau shrugged, grinning. "What can I say? I like to know things." The neon sign above the door flickered dimly. "Exit." A sign no one ever looked at. A door no one ever used. Yet tonight, Mark stood in front of it. Beau knew him, not well, but enough. They'd shared drinks into each other at rooftop lounges, talked about food and cigars in passing. Mark wasn't the kind of guy who seemed unhappy here, and yet he was leaving. The crowd gathered at a respectful distance, barely watching, barely caring. Beau didn't know why he stepped forward. But he did. The first thing he noticed was Mark's phone glowing with the words, "Debt paid in full." Beau let out a low whistle. "So this is it? I heard you're leaving." Mark didn't move, didn't turn. "Yeah." Beau crossed his arms. "What made you decide to leave?" Mark glanced at him. "A lot of things?" Beau smirked. "I mean, I get it. The food, the drinks, the music, the endless summer must be exhausting." Mark exhaled sharply, shaking his head. "You don't get it." Beau raised an eyebrow. "So tell me." Mark finally turned to face him. His expression was hard, tired, but not afraid. "Do you ever think about what comes next?" Beau's smirk didn't waver. "Next?" Mark's jaw clenched. "What happens when the game stops being fun?" Beau chuckled. "You're being dramatic, man. The market doesn't change. We live easy. We do what we want. We keep playing." Mark stared at him. "No, you just don't notice it changing. That's different." Beau folded his arms. "You mean the stores?" He gestured toward the plaza. "Dane and I were just talking about that. One day it's a sushi place, next day it's gelato. Businesses come and go, man. That's life." Mark gave him a sad smile. "Yeah, it is." Then his eyes darkened. "But tell me, Beau, when was the last time you saw someone leave and actually remembered them a week later?" Beau opened his mouth. paused. Mark's voice dropped lower. It's not just the stores that get replaced. A cold feeling settled in Beau's stomach. He forced a laugh. That's ridiculous. People leave because they choose to. That's the whole point. If they don't want to be here, they can walk out that door. Mark nodded slowly. Exactly. And yet no one remembers them. Beau scoffed. Because no one cares. Why would we sit around thinking about people who left? Mark's gaze sharpened. You think they left? A pause. What if they didn't? A shiver ran down Beau's spine. He tried to shake it off. All right, fine. Let's say you walk through that door. What happens to you? Mark's face became unreadable. I won't know. Beau frowned. What does that mean? Mark turned back to the door. His voice was quiet now. That's part of the rules. The words hung in the air. Beau's stomach twisted. Rules? His voice smaller than before. I've never seen a rule about that. Mark didn't answer. Instead, he stepped forward. The door creaked open, and just like that, he was gone. Beau's heart pounded, and he glanced down at his phone and opened up his MarketLink app. Mark's name was now gone from the list of people. The crowd dispersed, unfazed. The market moved on. Beau stood there staring at the empty space where Mark had been. For the first time, Verosphere Plaza felt smaller to Beau. Beau just stood there, staring at the empty space where Mark had been. The crowd was already gone, their interest fleeting, their attention pulled back into the hum of the market. Conversations resumed, shelf talk posts were refreshed, drinks were poured, nothing stopped. But Beau wasn't ready to walk away. His gaze drifted back to the door. It was just a door. A simple metal thing, a handle, a flickering exit sign. Beau glanced around. No one was watching. His pulse quickened. Before he could talk himself out of it, he stepped forward. The phone in his pocket vibrated. Another task, another update, but he ignored it. His fingers brushed the cold metal of the door handle. Then he gripped it and pulled. Nothing. The door didn't budge. His MarketLink app pinged. With a deep breath, Beau pulled out his phone. A new notification flashed across the screen. To leave, you must first complete all tasks. Beau's stomach twisted. He stared at the words, half expecting them to disappear, half expecting the door to unlock if he just pulled harder. He gritted his teeth and tried again. The door didn't move. Another ping. A second message appeared beneath the first. Pending obligations 14. Beau's breath slowed. His mind raced. He had completed his tasks, or at least he had completed enough. He always had. He never let his obligations get out of control, never let the debts stack up. He played the game. So why was he not allowed to leave? His chest tightened as another thought slipped in. Had Mark seen this message? Did everyone who tried to leave see this? Beau exhaled sharply, stepping back from the door. He glanced around again. No one had noticed. Or maybe no one cared. He swallowed, tucking his phone back into his pocket, his hands flexed at his sides. The plaza lights still glowed warm and inviting. The music still drifted from the rooftops. Somewhere, Dane was probably pouring another drink. Nothing had changed, except for Beau. For the first time since coming to Verosphere, he wanted to leave. And for the first time, he realized he couldn't.